Hello, hello, hello. Good night. Good night, good night. Good night. Call a friend, tell a friend, link up the PNP delegates them. Krista, I know you're in your element this today. I know. Big birthday celebration plus other celebration. I know you're in your element, my darling. Good night, Mark. How are you? Krista Gay Stevenson. I know you're in your element. Oh my Lord. Share the live, please. Good night to you too, my darling. Share the live, please. Invite other PNP delegates and PNP people to come watch. Share it with them. Pass it on. Share it on your page. Just share it. I mean, it's basically the last live for the year. So you know what other celebration I'm referring to, don't you? I'm not calling no name because I'm not promote nothing. Share the live, please. Invite other persons to join and to come, if they're interested to hear what we have to say. So it is, we're going to share the live, no? We're on the live. We're going to share the live. Good night, my friend Marcia Hutchinson. How are you, my darling? Good night, Kirk. Good night to you. I don't have anything to say, Miss Krista Gay. Nothing at all. All right, I'll talk about it at the end of the life. All right? I'm bringing you on the camera and you talk about it. How that's out. And Krista Gay? Share the live, please. Invite some people on. And let us start. Yes, Princess, I know you've been visiting the Bustamante Hospital for Children with your little nephew. You're a wonderful aunt. You're a wonderful aunt. Share the live. Go share the live, please. And hello, Lisa. Good night, good night, good night. The topic today, Devon. I see the connection boss on the live. The topic tonight, Devon. We're going to do a recap of the political year. Kind of a review, a recap of what we think were the high points and the low points of the political year, particularly as it relates to PNP. And then we're going to look at the future in as best as we can. And we're going to try to be as candid as we can about it all. So go share the live with somebody and let us start. Good night, Enid. How are you, my darling? Good night, comrades. Good night, friends, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. It's Christmas. We know that Jesus is going to be born again. And it's a great time for us to reflect on our own lives and welcome the birth of Christ and appreciate the fact that God so loved the world that He gave us His only begotten Son. And it started around this season. Let us not forget in this Christmas season that is the essence of Christmas, the birth of baby Jesus. And what a wonderful birth it was. Look at us. We would not be here if that didn't happen, and so we are grateful and we are thankful about that. When I discuss with the leadership of the resistance that we want to do a review, a year in review, we started down making some list of things that we think that would be good to highlight in a year of review. So I wrote them down. I hope I can remember some things without actually go looking at the paper. But in our mind, the year in review politically didn't really start in January 2022. The year in review, we'll have to look back on 2 years of the leadership of Mark Golding and what has been achieved, and moments that are opportunities that have been missed, moments that got miscarried or miscalculated, and just how sad a situation the PNP is in because of this man. My intention was not to do a live about the year in review. My intention was to do a live to close out the year with my task from the good Lord regarding Peter Murcott Bunting. You know, and God is taking care of him in such a wonderful way. There's not much that we can do now because God is dealing with him. But comrades, Mark Jefferson Golding has been leader of the PNP now for 2 years. 2 years plus. And it is very hard to imagine a leader of a political party as large and versatile and well known as the People's National Party. I don't know if we still are, but there was a time when the People's National Party was the largest political movement in the English-speaking Caribbean. And that is something that I've always been proud of. And it's like now the PNP is an unknown entity. And we're going to talk about it, you know. Mark Golding has been leader of the PNP for 2 years plus now. What has he accomplished? What has happened under his watch? Why is he continuing to be leader? Why the PNP delegates, the NEC, the MPs, them sit down and allowing him to continue to wreck Norman Manley Party? And I mean wreck Norman Manley Party. And these are questions that has to be asked at the end of the second year. This is a People's National Party. And no matter how unknown a person is, you become the leader of the People's National Party. Within 5 minutes, everybody know who you are. And then you have Mark did about 4 different tours. And each tour, he would say something like, he's introducing himself to the country and to the comrades. And then somebody would say something to him and he would say, I am new. And it's 2 years now. You're not new anymore. And the PNP has found itself in a bind. So let's recap some things. Let's start with March 2022. March 2022 was when the resistance led a protest against Peter Murcott Bunting for his gun policies when he was a minister of government. How he gave gun license to rapists. He gave gun license to man who was having sex with his underage daughter. He gave gun license to all unsavory character. And then he went out and did a media charm tour. And then suddenly everybody just forgot about it. Forgot about the fact that this man used his position as a minister of government in one of the most sensitive government agencies. And used his position to track down and attack and set up those he considered to be his political enemies. He did it to Paul Well, and he did it to many other people. I know he tried to do it with Angela Brownberg too, but his main focus was Paul Well. Made the man lose his visa, made the man get into all kind of trouble. The man couldn't go visit his mother, the man couldn't go visit his sister who died, and his months after, almost a year before he could go visit his sister, because Peter Bunting decided that Paul Well was his political enemy and him going to make sure he mash up his life. And all of that bust out. All of that bust out. And what did Mark Golding do? Mark Golding defended him. Mark Golding kept him. And the PNP shrugging right along. Now I made a list of some things that happened within the last political year. So after we did that after we did that protest at party headquarters, the resistance then went on a road tour in April of last year. And I can't begin to tell you just what a successful road tour it was because of how many people we met, how much information we gathered, how many things we learned on the road, on that road tour. It was never meant to be that, but it turned out to be that. And who are we to quarrel with how God lead our thing? And that is out. We visit some 30-odd communities. We visited about 23 constituencies. We have not recorded all of them, but we will get to it somewhere, somehow. And we did all of that. While we were on tour, the connection boss come at Philip Paul was doing him live and things was nice. And the PNP people, them glad to hear from him and want to hear from him. Everybody tune in. And the connection boss thought to himself that since the live is so big and it attracts so much PNP people, let him try a thing. Let him bring on the leader of the PNP and see if him could help him. Because it's a help Paul was giving him. And it all went to crap. Missed opportunity by Mark Golding. It all went to crap. Then now in July, some whole of people start talking about the founding of the PNP, and O.T. Fairclough name came up as the founder of the PNP, and some very unusual things happened. People of caliber that we thought knew the history of the PNP, knew how the PNP was founded, knew who the founder is, started parroting this idea that this cameraman from Haiti, who looked like a thief with a mugshot, was the founder of the PNP. And of course the resistance decided to kill him, figuratively. And we did a live, Michelle did a live, and we thought we killed O.T. Fairclough. But a lot of things happened in July. It's not just O.T. Fairclough. Also in July, there was the debacle of the VP race. Suddenly, for two consecutive years, the People's National Party, the bastion of democracy in the Caribbean and in Jamaica, suddenly, for 2 consecutive years, was appointing vice presidents and not electing them. So we were not pleased about that, and one drama ensued with Zuleka Jess, and who was pushing who, and who trying to mash up what, and who had agreement with what. We were very upset about that. Missed opportunity again by Mark Golding, the leader of the PNP. Then same time in July, just after that debacle, Mr. Golding decided to do a diaspora tour. And he did a diaspora tour that was a disgrace. Them should not call it that. I mean, the turnout and the support in the diaspora was disgraceful. It was below normal, below what people would want to see. It was a daddy, sham something. Him and Peter Bunting and Dayton Campbell and Angela Brown Burke and all them riser friends, them, all of them pack up themselves and them go Florida and them go Georgia and them go New York. What have we to show for that? Because after diaspora didn't show up for the party conference, the people that show up for the party conference from the diaspora are not really the usual people that usually show up. The party leader of the People's National Party went to New York, and was introduced and chaperoned around and went to a place, a college, to talk to some Jamaicans. And for the life of me, I can't even begin to tell you just how embarrassed I was that the leader of the PNP was standing inside Medgar Evers College. Medgar Evers, go read it up, Mark. He was in Medgar Evers College talking to some Jamaican people, and the man did not know who Medgar Evers was. He never even mentioned it. The resistance people down in New York just sat there watching him, and and saying to the thing that them send me, I can't believe that this man is the leader of the PNP. How could you, the leader of the People's National Party? Did you know, Mark Golding, that during the time when Nelson Mandela was incarcerated and the calls got louder to free Mandela, do you know who led that process throughout the whole Caribbean and take it straight to the United Nations, Mark? Michael Norman Manley led that process to free Mandela. When Michael going to the Caribbean and Michael mobilized the Caribbean to get on board with the free Mandela thing, and you, the leader of the PNP, went into a college that is named after a black civil rights leader, a man who was shot in the back, 3 bullets, by a white supremacist Nazi-loving man. Never got any justice for years. I think it was in the 1990s. His wife, Merle, finally, they got an ex-trial. And the man who shot him was maybe about 80 something time, and the jury found him guilty. And Mark Golding went to Medgar Evers College in New York and didn't even know that he was in Medgar Evers College. But if somebody said to him, this is Medgar Evers College, Mark Golding didn't even ask, who is Medgar Evers? But how could you? You wouldn't know Medgar Evers. But you know your great-grandfather, Mr. John Golding, the pirate. So you would know Medgar Evers. You would not know Medgar Evers. And you went down there and you embarrassed the PNP once again. Total embarrassment to the PNP. With that diaspora tour. With you and Dayton Campbell. You don't know how sick that look? Then Lisa joined on the pathway. And sad to say that not even Lisa presence could make her look good. Not even Lisa presence. And immediately after the tour, and we came back home, and when we came back home, in August, Lisa Anna announced her imminent departure from representation politics. And the whole of Jamaica is not at all pleased about that. You see, during the 2020 elections between Lisa and Mark Golding, the PNP delegates did not have full knowledge of who Mark Golding is. You didn't know him. You still don't know him. But you sold your vote to him. You swap your vote for $20,000 and you sold out your party heritage and you sold out the one beautiful woman. Well, not one, but you sold a beautiful woman could be a leader. And you did it without knowing anything about Mark Golding. And try as we may, then, we tried to tell you, but you never listened. You didn't want to hear who he was and what he was. We tried to tell you. We told you that he has never led anything in his life. He can't lead the People's National Party. How you feel about that now? Because it's Uno who's still talking to, you know. Every time I come in alive, it's Uno the PNP delegates are talking to. So the man embarrassed us. He start the year with Peter Bunting gun thing. He never do nothing about it. Paul will give him an opening by going to his office and entertain him on his live. Many of us was vexed with Paul well for it. I wasn't vexed. But many people was vexed because Mark never took the opportunity to do what he did, what he needed to do on the live. Him trick Paul well and trick the rest of everybody who thinks that him want peace and him want unity and stuff. Him can't get rid of Peter Bunting. Him botch the vice presidential thing. Him go down to the diaspora, go embarrass the PNP and further embarrass himself. And then came back and Lisa Anna put out a statement. Sent him a letter to say that she is her intention not to seek re-election in the next elections. Now, a couple of things happen with that if we are to review it. The first thing is you get a letter from one of your stars. You get a letter from one of your stars to say you're the coach of the basketball team. And Steph Curry send you a letter to say to your boss, boy, Coach Carr, I can't play no more. Can't play no more because of all the things that your people doing behind the scenes and all the things that you are condoning behind the scenes as well. So I don't feel me can play no more. That is Steph Curry to Steve Kerr, the coach. That's you, Mark, the coach. And Lisa said that to you. And then you, the elected leader of the PNP, went out into the nation and said to the nation that you offered her another seat. And she said no. Who the hell do you think you are, Mark Golden? Who the hell do you think you are to go on national news media and say that? Who the hell do you think you are? When you got that letter, did you call Lisa? Did you say, come and talk to me? I want to know why you're doing this. Talk to me. Tell me what go on. I know so many things are going on, but tell me how you reach here, sir. Tell me how you reach here. Because you're the leader, Mark Golden. You're supposed to say to her, tell me how you reach here. Because your seat and you as an individual in the party is crucial to the PNP rebuilding itself to reclaim government. Those are the things you say to one of your stars who said that they want to take the bench, sit down on the bench and not play. But instead, you once again prove what a ningrin you are, undeserving of leading the People's National Party, and you go out in the media and talking about you offered her some seat. And then you go on national television and make this very, very hurtful statement about some people and politics don't agree with some people or some people no. Something he make. Michelle, can you put the statement that he make on the live for me, please? Where people say the statement they make about some people that politics and some people don't agree. Look at you. Who the hell do you think you are, Mark Golden? I tell people about politics and all. Basically, I tell Lisa that politics is not her thing. 4-term MP. Huh? You will tell her that politics is not her thing. Leader of the PNP. Leader of the PNP. Telling one of your stars and going on national TV and talking about, so maybe politics is not her thing in a nonchalant way. And you and your people, them celebrating that she says that she is, what him said, politics is not for everybody. Thank you, Anika. That's what he said. Politics is not for everybody. You're damn right about that, Mark. Politics is not for everybody because politics is not for you. Politics is not for you. Investment banker, lawyering, that's your thing. Go on and do it. So for Lisa, do all of that. That's what you said. Now when we look at the year in review and look what happened in May and June with the divisional conferences, I know PNP people were coming out and feeling a little bit of excitement again because they have not been anywhere for the last 2 years. The excitement wasn't for you, Mark. It was for the party. It was an opportunity for them to put on them orange shirt, them MP shirt, them councillor shirt, them hat, long they don't wear them or something there. So it wasn't for you. It wasn't because you come into the divisional conference. The divisional conferences were big and hot and nice because PNP people needed it. They needed to come out. They needed to show themselves. And what did you do? After that, what did you do? You pack your bag and have your leader and walk beside you, and you go up and you go up on diaspora tour. Coming out of divisional conferences that were great. Not because of you. They were just great. He said representation politics is not for everyone. Got you. Representation politics is not for everyone. It's not for you, Mark. It's not for you. Because Omar Davis give you Tony Spall and see. Tony Spall must be turned over and grave. I know Tony Spall and a bad rumhead man. One of them going to get him and going to thump you over down there. I have no doubt in my mind about it. But that's what you did, Mark. The divisional conferences were great. And you could not capture that. Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity to take that, harness that, and make it carry you into a conference, which would have been better. But no, you take yourself and you're gone, but you're gone on diaspora tour where nobody knows you. and the people who entertained you. Let me tell you about Jamaicans abroad in the diaspora. You come, them are going to entertain you. Them know all the things that them supposed to know about you, but them going to entertain you. Because I'm a PNP. And them want it. Them need it. So them going to entertain you. And you don't want to hear some of the things that them have to say about you after you left. Of course. Because you're not impressive. One comrade said, boy, he was unimpressive. That's the word the gentleman used. Big shot man. I tell you where, but down in diaspora. Him said, I tell you, Karen, I was kind of hopeful, but the man is unimpressive. The comrade over in England said, when Paulwell came to some government thing over there, boy, all the things they made me about Paulwell, but to listen to Paulwell, boy, them things are not justified. But them unimpressed by you, Mark Golden. So you go diaspora, waste time, make time pass you by. You get Lisa a letter, and instead of talking to her, do as leaders do, call her, sit down with her, ask her what is bothering her. You know what bother her. You know the ugly teeth in counselor them down there with Wizzy where carry the pussy feelings. You know them. You know ugly teeth in Bell and ugly Lydia where the people of Bensington want runway. You know it's them and that ugly smell bad one named Garrett. You know it's them and the problem. Sit down with her. But you couldn't do that. But in the resistance store, we picked up so many things. And after Lisa made that announcement, I decided to go do what I do best without photographs. Just go check PNP people and talk to them. Me alone. Just like I used to do when the party used to pay me to do it. Just go look for PNP people and let them tell me. The country, Jamaica, is not fully accepting Lisa Hanna's decision. They have sounded off in many, many ways all over the country that them understand. And they now know that when Wizzy was walking up and down in Kingston with file folder and the corrupt mainstream media that is paid by Bunting was entertaining him, they now know that all of that was designed to bring her down. They also know that when the former top-level leader, officer of the party, was meeting down by the farm, down at in St. Anne, with Paul Burke and Angela Brown Burke, and Peter Bunting and Luna Samba and Garnet Roper, they also know that on the down there plotting to lose the PNP seat and damage Lisa Hanna. So they know, and I'm going to tell you how they know, and why they know, and why them now say nothing to you. So get to that. So now, come September, you had conference. And it was a kind of conference that would make your heart sink. I deployed the resistance leaders across the country. And I said, your job is to tell me how much bus in a where and how much people are leaving at them bus then. And it was not nice. Apart from places like Westmoreland and some places in St. Elizabeth. No full bus not coming to Kingston. Certainly Region 3 didn't show up. And it's not Dennis's fault why Region 3 never show up. Region 3 just not in a nothing. We don't know. I mean, I know what I take for no, so Region 3 in a nothing. We don't know. And the conference was not your conference, Mark. And it really should have been. Because you have been leader. You should be going into that conference, celebrate your almost 2 years, and have something to announce to the comrades, and have some policy, something to put forward, some motivation, some inspiration to give the PNP people. You turn up at a conference with about 10 people behind you in one car, take 5 minutes to reach into the conference. Which leader take 5 minutes to reach in the conference? Every leader that come to conference take half an hour to reach in the conference. Half an hour to reach that conference. Dr. Phillips took 34 minutes to reach. 34. I have to be corrected if I'm wrong. But I think Dr. Phillips' maiden conference took 34 minutes to reach in there. Them whisk you in. There was a slim group. You cannot walk through. Which leader come to conference without a walkway ready for them? You crack. You know, it's people that hang out and camp out to touch the leader and talk to the leader and whisper to the leader, hug up the leader and kiss the leader and take off something for the leader. Do you know how many people that camp out there, sir? And nobody wanted to talk to you. Nobody wanted to touch you, to hug you, to kiss you, to take off something for you. Nobody. Nobody. Them practically had to lift up portion in our maiden conference. But this conference, this past conference, would have been kind of like a maiden conference for you because of COVID. And you missed that again because of your actions and your inability to show that you are a leader. And we now know that you are not a leader. You're not leading anything. You barely can tie your shoelace by yourself unless Peter Bunting tell you to. Every morning Angela call you to ask you what color underpants you're wearing. Keeping track of you. Because without you, their lives don't worth anything. People tell you time and time again, get rid of Peter Bunting and let the party unite around you. But no, what means more to you is not the party united to challenge Andrew Holness. What means more to you is your friendship with Peter Bunting. I want to sit down on a plot because we know, you know. Invite both of you. I want to bought the PNP. I want to figure, we don't spend so much money, on the deserve to stay there. Under normal circumstances, I probably agree with you. On a bite, the licky, real dreadful, treacherous delegates and sold it to you. You know business about PNP. Yeah, your brethren there and do Funo thing because Funo thing is to remain in the position of power while reaping more, making more money, building more banks, more investment banking, more lawyering, more all kind of things, just more for not busy the PNP. So you not getting rid of Peter Bunting, even though 90% of the PNP, including risers, would think that you would have a better opportunity and a better chance to lead the party if you remove him. But every time you come close to that, Peter Bunting reminded you of the reason why you're there. On a pay feet, a phone party, nobody never elect on a bite, and nobody can take it from you till nothing, so on get all back on the money's worth from it. And guess what? You can do that because the people who sold it to you and those who suck up to you and lay themselves careless for you, them not holding you accountable and them not asking you nothing. Them afraid that you might go expel them. So them not doing nothing. Huh? So you do it. Then come the NEC. And we pleaded with you. In every way possible, we pleaded with you to remove Angela Brownberg as chairman for the People's National Party. We lay out the case to you. We did last year, and we did it this year. As to why the combination of Peter Bunting and Angela Brownberg is the two deadliest combination. It is the combination, it is the two disease that is eating out the fabric of the PNP. Peter Bunting on one hand, Angela Brownberg on the other hand. And when those two meet, it's corrosive. It's rotten. The PNP is filled with worms and maggots because those two minds meet. It is within Peter Bunting's interest to keep Angela Brownberg as chairman, and it is within her interest that him stay to back her up. And you, the leader, do not care about the People's National Party. But you care about coming back in October without Fairclough. Oh, you care about that? I don't know if it's a thing with you. I know Paul Burke and PG and them and Omar and them on your case about it. But I don't know if it's also a thing with you that them tell you that if you say that it was a black man that founded the PNP, maybe people will start like a bae. No. So we had to come out and kill Hoti Fairclough again. This time we cremated his body. And Norman, man, the party still in your hands. Without like a ship without a sail. And everybody talk about leader. And a promoter talk about next prime minister. And that took us into October. Then a miracle happened. I mean a bona fide miracle. You, Mark Golding, before reaching the miracle, have not been able to hold Andrew Holness to account. You have not been able to articulate a vision and a policy that would make the Jamaican people look at us. In every instance, and let me tell you something, after we got wiped out in 1980, and Michael Manley went on about in business, rebuilding the party, go abroad and did lecturing to bring in the money to build back the party and for us to go on the road. And Michael Manley started to change all kind of things. The bush jacket was replaced with jacket and tie. Some people did still keep their bush jacket, but Michael started dressed up in a jacket and tie as well. Things began to change. By the time Siaga reached to call the 1983 local government elections, PNP swept the local government elections. I'm just telling you, 1980, they wiped us out and we went into hibernation. But did we never got to sit down and lick our wounds. We regrouped and we rebuilt. And by 1983, the Jamaican people was ready for us again. The local government election, people have to say that we won 13 of the 14 parish council. That wasn't the magic of it. The magic was not the winning of the parish council. The magic was that up to 75% of rural Jamaica, everybody a country, turned out and voted for the PNP. 75%. We have not seen that again. But that can only happen when the country is ready to change government. And that 83 local government election was a clear sign from the Jamaican electorate that them ready to throw out Edward Siaga. And so I'm run go call stop election. I will say we're not depend that with you. I will continue to build and prepare ourselves. And the Jamaican people calling for us. The Jamaican people get up every day. Then they're on the radio. Then they're on the TV. Then they're all over the place calling for the People's National Party. After they sold us out in 1980, well, it's not them alone. There was the CIA and the US government that was up in arms with us with the Cuba thing and the whole communist argument. But what I'm saying to you, Mark, is when a government is doing as bad as Andrew Holness is doing, the people are supposed to be calling for the opposition. They are. The people are supposed to be saying, yeah, this man now work out. PNP may go the next time. Oh no. I went down to the sweetie shop on Friday. Saturday, I went down to the sweetie shop down the mall. It's owned by an Indian gentleman and his wife, uncle and auntie, we call him. And I don't know his name. But he's a very nice man. He's not there much now. Him give the shop to him son, so him grandson run the shop. It's a huge sweetie shop. Party favors, every kind of sweetie. I got on there to buy toppings for the ice cream. Gummy beer, chocolate chip, that kind of thing. And I got on there to buy that. So I went in there to buy gummy beer on Saturday. And I was so delighted to see him because I hadn't seen him since COVID because he had gone away and he never get to come back, so I'm still. And he said to me, what go on? Sir, I don't know where me by that uncle. You're a government in power, man. Yes, but the man them thief. The man them is a thief left, right and center. And him name the man them we a thief. No, him is a labor right, you know. Him vote labor right. Him grandson there, you know. Grandson's about 22, 23. And him say, Va's a thief. Montague a thief. And the one on a Petrojam, him never call nobody name, just the one on a Petrojam. And Desmond McKenzie, him name them. How them a thief. And he proceed to name them. And I lament about it. And I simply ask, so do you think the PNP ready to take control? No. No. It's not because of no politics. No. Because him saying voted for PJ once. No. PNP not ready. When a government is facing this kind of corruption, the SOE, the violence, the crime, and the people are silent. The Jamaican people are silent. They are silent because, as the young fellow said in the sweetie shop, the grandson, he must stick to the evil him know. Because we not ready. Him say we not ready, so he must stick to the evil where him know. So think about it, comrades. Think about it, people. Think about it. Out of power, Michael led us on demonstrations. Portia led us on demonstrations. Michael led us on all-night vigils down at National Heroes Park. All night we down there drink tea and eat bread and butter and sing PNP song. Because the dollar in sliding, Siaga in trouble, and the country come out and ready for the People's National Party. The man them a thief and plunder. Corruption sky high. Everybody align them pocket with big major dollars. And the country, Jamaica, is not calling for the PNP. How strange is that? That's something that UNO, I live with UNO, the PNP delegate. None only can go anywhere and tell anybody that, tell me so I challenge anyone I UNO to say that UNO hear anybody a road. Say time for Andrew Old is go and we're ready for the PNP. People say time for Andrew Old is go. People say that. But nobody's calling for the People's National Party. Nobody calling for the People's National Party. I mean, time tough. Things hard. People having it hard. But nobody has said we're ready for the PNP. Nobody has said, yo, Andrew Old said go and give up this thing and make. When I say, them going home and give Portia the thing now. Portia forget the thing now. Remember when that was a song across Jamaica? When Siaga take it in 1980 and start to F it up by 81, by him first real budget in 82, him looking like a lame duck already. The people ready for the change. The people ready for the change that when 89 come, nothing could stop us. That is what is missing from this. Nobody calling for the PNP mark under your leadership. And this year has been one of the most opportune year for the PNP, and you miss it. You miss it because you are incapable and unable to lead. You are, but you hold on to it because you think it belongs to you because you bought it. You paid for it. And you and your friend keeping it until you're good and ready. Until you miss all the opportunities. But then I'm going to tell you about the miracle that happened in November. I mean, it was a bona fide miracle. The JLP conference. And here it is. The JLP conference. One of the lamest conferences I've ever seen in my entire life. Lame conference. But forget about the empty buses them. Forget about the people them where take the bus them and take the t-shirt and take the money and come out for the gas station when the bus stop to collect to get gas and left the t-shirt them in the washrooms and gone back at them yard with them money with them collect. Forget about that. Forget about that who came to the arena, those who came to the arena, collect their money and sneak away. Forget about that. Don't concentrate on that. concentrate on the leader of the JLP, the Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Concentrate on him. Focus on him on that Sunday afternoon at the National Arena. Trying to give a speech. Putting on all kind of show Mrs. Holness a plant kiss on him. We can't even talk about that. Concentrate on that. Concentrate on the theatrics. And the lack of choreography for the theatrics. Concentrate on Andrew Holness's body language, his facial expression. A man lost at sea. A man lost at sea. Him don't know whether him coming or him going. He came in like Hamlet. Him look like a tragic figure. So he came into his conference. Could neither 7 or 11. I imagine that one side pulling him left and say, "Make we do this." Another side pulling him right and say, "Make we do that." And the PR people then pulling him in the middle and say, "Make we stick to this." And him wife a kiss him and then him wipe off the lipstick. I would pay a big money just to be in that space physically for 5 minutes. It was a bona fide miracle to see the overhyped, oversold, all PR up leader of the JLP, Prime Minister of the country, who rubbing shoulders with MBS, when them Bill Salmon down Saudi Arabia, shaking off the newly minted King Charles III hand, rubbing shoulders with people in the international community, looking like a sad sack on the day, the big day of his conference. The man looked like a sad sack. Could either 7 nor 11. Him don't know whether I'm coming or I'm going. Him couldn't deliver an inspiring speech. Him couldn't boast of anything. Him couldn't lift the conference. Him couldn't lift his own people. Him couldn't reach the Jamaican people. He could not reach the Jamaican people. They left him that day. I don't think it's idiot to deal with the politics. They left him as night turned to day. As Andrew Holness stood on that stage and opened his mouth, the Jamaican people left him. But guess what? Them just left him gone down the road. Because them don't want you, Mark. Them don't want this PNP led by you. So them just left Andrew Holness and gone down the road. Andrew Holness in his speech, and this is the greatest miracle of all, did not and could not mention the words local government elections. Could not. He could not say, come the next election, we're going to whip the PNP, we're going to beat them up. He couldn't. I mean, I have never seen him so aware of the position that he is in. I have never seen him so aware of how things are with him. And he was wearing it on his shoulders, wearing it on his sleeves, wearing it on his face. He knew that the Jamaican people left him. And Mark Jefferson Golin, the leader that the PNP people them sold their votes to, could not harness that, could not capture that, could not. Andrew Holness looked lacked of confidence, and still, yes, Anika, he still looked like he had more confidence than the leader of the PNP, even though he looked so wishy-washy and his confidence was drained from him. I mean, if there was ever a time when them say when a man is down, you kick him further, that was the time we should have licked down Andrew Wallace. That Sunday. That Sunday. But Mark Golding is beholden to Andrew Wallace. Andrew Wallace is making it possible so him and Peter Bunting can make more money, build more bank, do more investment banking, and more lawyering. So him can't trouble Andrew Wallace. And Andrew Wallace walked out of that conference as any politician in his position should have. He should have walked out of that conference fretting about Monday morning. But why? No need for fret. Come on, Aki G not do nothing. I'm drinking gin. It's Christmas. Marky G couldn't do nothing, so Andrew Wallace could walk out of that conference. Knowing that Jamaican people left him and gone on the road. And nothing ever happened. And that is all our year in review. Round up that last final opportunity that Mark Golding got and couldn't take. So let me give you two little things from the year in review before we go on to other things. One, the government, the Jamaica Labour Party government is in deep doo-doo. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yes, he is. Sorry. It doesn't matter that they're in deep doo-doo because nobody not calling for the PNP. Nobody. Not even PNP people are calling for PNP. So whatever deep Andrew into, him know, him have time and all kind of thing when he can dig himself out of it because nobody now call for the PNP. We need a pusher. We need some people from light fire and Andrew Wallace. But first of all, we need some courage in the PNP. We need some people to get some courage and start and remove Mark Golding. We need him to get some courage and remove him. Don't wait for no local government elections, man. Don't wait for that. Because as a political student, and a political activist, and a political scientist, and a political strategist, I can tell you this. Throughout the whole world, there is a thing in the year where opposition parties seem to be making a comeback in some way. In Brazil, down in St. Kitts, down all over the country. Look at the Democratic Party and they're showing in the midterm elections, which was a stunner because for 80 years, things go the other way. For 81 years, every midterm elections, the party in power lose massively, 30 to 50 seats. But look at what happened last November. The Democratic Party barely will probably go into the next Congress. The Republicans are probably going to the next Congress maybe a 7-8 seat majority. Look how close they came. The mood of the world is to throw out incumbents. The mood of the world is to throw out incumbents. And when I look across the world where all of that is happening, there is one common thread. One common thread. And that one common thread is the people out the road that say them for go away. That's it. Nothing else. Now everybody congratulating Lula, the new the former Brazilian president who just became president again. I wonder if anybody know what that man went through. The last president sent him to prison. He was in prison for how long? I don't quite remember how long, but I know he was in prison. The man lost his home. He lost his political life. The man was down on his luck. And he came back one day. He walked into a farmer stronghold of his. And the people greeted him and said, welcome, Lula. And the people said, we want you back. And look what happened in Brazil. Practically the same. Well, St. Kitts is a different situation. That same thing happened because they have a strange way down there. But I'm saying that the one common thread in all of these elections is that the people calling for the change. Nobody, not a single solitary soul. The tepid responses from the private sector, the cautious responses from those who call themselves, what do they call themselves, Trevor Monroe and a full group of people, those very cautious responses and the private sector expressing some concerns about corruption. Those things not going to get rid of Andrew Wallace. They are doing that because they know that the PNP will not be able to pick up on that and ride it. And that in normal political climate, the private sector and people like Trevor Monroe could not be opening their mouth and talking about corruption. And the opposition party now ride that and beat bad man to the government and topple them and send them running to the hills for them to call elections. But they know, they are acutely aware that Mark Golding and Peter Bunting, who captured the PNP, have no intention of giving it up. The NIA have no intention of giving it up until they are good and ready, because they paid good money for it. And the MPs them sit down in there and talking and doing nothing. Then you, Graham, in now, decided that he was going to use the World Cup to put some things out and test the waters. So you, Graham, a true word. So when the team now lose, good night, Myron, you can switch team. Now, when you see where PNP come to, Bobby Pickersgill sell the seat to you, Graham, and you, Graham, down there, a threaten PNP. When you see where the PNP come to, you, Graham, down there, him counsels and him them not agree, except for one maybe. Nobody not chat to him. Him labor right friend them and him labor right business friend them, I tell him, say, him for switch. And him a put out football analogy and a threaten PNP. And him can do it because we have a lame leader. Him can do it because earlier in the year him said something and the chairman of the People's National Party went out and they eviscerated him instead of defending him. So we don't know what will happen with that, do we? Cautious, you, Graham. Be very, very cautious. Because a revolution is coming. Mark Golding, Peter Bunting, a revolution is coming. PNP people not going to take it much longer. And you, Peter Murdoch Bunting, the man who started all of this, you have Norman Scott down at St. Catherine, proceeding over the laborization of the People's National Party, replacing duly elected candidates with former Labourite candidates. Denny's Daily, she over there, not in charge of nothing, doing nothing. And you, Mark Golding, is the leader of the PNP. Yes, it was causing them to an bus, not you, Graham. That's true. Thank you for the correction, Michelle. You, Mark Golding. Do you know what a strike? That Norman Scott threw out a young woman who was elected by the delegates to represent the PNP and replaced her with a man who ran for the Labour Party and lost. and run against PNP and fight against PNP and do all kind of things against PNP, all kind of stories about him. And Norman Scott named him the candidate. And Dennis Daly, the chairman for the region, is there doing nothing, saying nothing. It's a nothing party. Hugh Graham, we hear the argument that him don't feel safe in him seat, yes, but that's not no reason for threatening PNP people. So therefore, that's my recap of the year in review. If there's anything else in the year in review, you can put it on the live. Let me see. But come as I want to look at going forward now. I want you to understand me for what I'm about to say. The things I'm about to say. And I want you to treat it as information, facts. It's there. Part of the reason why the PNP is in this position now and why Mark Golding was able to bite him and Peter Bunting was because there were too many people wanting to be leaders. Everybody wants to be leaders. Some of them can lead 10 hands to a sugar hill, but they want to be leader of the PNP. And the reason why Mark Golding is now the leader of the PNP is because of some of that. In politics, there is an order and an hierarchy in how things operate. Jim Clyburn, the minority whip in the U.S. House of Representatives from South Carolina, is 82 years old. 82 years old. Nancy Pelosi is 82 years old. The new leader for the Democratic caucus in the Congress is Hakeem Jeffries. And Hakeem Jeffries is 30 years younger than Nancy Pelosi and Jim Clyburn. Hakeem Jeffries is 52. Young fellow, bright, vibrant. Served this party, served his leader, Nancy, Jim, Steny Hoyer. He served them. And they trained them, all of them. Him, Clark, Catherine Clark, I think her name is. Them trained them to come take this position of leadership now. And there's always people with ambitions. Always. But there's always an hierarchy of understanding those ambitions and tempering those ambitions and falling behind whoever it is that have the reins and supporting them. But that comes with a level of understanding. That comes with a level of everybody knowing what their role is. And if you don't know what your role is, then this is what we end up with. What have we ended up with? Philip Paulwell, Lisa Anna, and I'm naming Lisa Anna in this because the Jamaican people not totally sold on the fact that Lisa Anna is going away. And the same way, and I'm speaking to Paul Burke and Maureen Webber and PJ Patterson, and whoever, and Peter Phillips, the same way that when you used to send me a road, go find out the people that think I'm come back, come telling you, and I am right, and this me I tell you now. The Jamaican people not entirely sold on the fact that Lisa Anna says she not running back, she leaving the politics. They're not sold on that. They are hopeful. So she's in it, as far as I know. Paulwell, Lisa Hanna, Raymond Price, Damian Crawford, Mikhail Phillips, Angela Brownberg, Ian Hales, Donna Scott Motley, and I'm going to throw in somebody. For effect, I am throwing in Bazawait in that group. Let's start with Paulwell. Outside of Michael Manley and Norman Manley, because Norman taught us to dream. Norman showed us the possibilities. Norman showed us the possibility. It's like Norman could see the future very clearly. Norman was on par with people like Jefferson. He could see the future. Norman saw it. Norman saw the vast airplanes, and Norman saw the cell phone, and Norman saw it. And he was preparing us for it. Michael came, and Michael awoke our social consciousness. It wasn't just about Jamal. It wasn't just about land lease. The bastard no there again. Equal pay for women, bringing the Rastafari movement into the mainstream and got them to vote for PNP. It wasn't all about that. Michael awakened our social consciousness. And apart from those two, the only other person in the People's National Party who have taken that social consciousness that Michael awoken and that future that Norman showed us and actualize it is Philip Paulwell. The only person is Philip Paulwell. And let me give you a story. I used to go to Portland once every month, twice sometimes. We just drive to Portland, put the igloo in the car with ice, get the rum, pick up them girl, and me and Buck and them girl will go to Portland. For no particular reason. No matter what time we leave, you know, and we don't matter about without coming back or not. So we go to Portland. And one day, and I know somebody still have this picture. And I know no watching, so anyone who can find the picture, make sure we get a copy of it. Pat and Kima and what I don't know. I ask about nothing. You must can find the picture. I was traveling to Portland. And there is that stretch of road before you reach into Hector's River. Beautiful stretch of road. I can't remember the place name. But every time we touch that road, I drive like a mad woman. Me really like the road. And one day we go in Portland. I saw a man riding him donkey. Coming down on him donkey. It's not a strange sight. No. But it's the first time we were seeing it at that time. But some time ago. And the man come on him donkey. It was during the time when the biggest thing that was happening in Jamaica was the case, the phone case, the cell phone case. Every damn idiot you see in Jamaica have a cell phone case, catch off pan him pants waist or pan him pants pocket. Some people have two. Catch off pan them pants. And here was this man, this Portland man, on him donkey, riding down. I'm slow down. There he was, sit down pan him donkey with him 49 phone case, cock off pan him pants, him just come from ground. Yeah? I ride him donkey. The phone case cock off pan him pants. In him 49. And him ride the donkey in him right hand. And lo and behold, him and him other phone pan the donkey. Come on, Pat, what the must have the damn picture. Because I Buck took the picture, because he walk up and with the camera. The man have him 49 case pan him waist. And the phone and him ears. Riding him, I talk to him girl, I tell her how things went wrong, and him have yam fear, and I come check her. I'm a riding. Philip Paulwell led that process. There is that social consciousness that Michael awakened in us. That need for move forward that Michael awoke in us. No matter who was prime minister, who was leader, the single person that actualized that through communication is Philip Paulwell. So him have a record. That phone thing with that man coming from him ground with him yam and whatever else him have and chatting to him woman. Probably other people woman him talk to. Tell him to come link or a piece of yam or something. Two phone. One in the case, it was the funniest thing. Every young person in the United States who want to move up in life. Once I'm left high school and thinking about what I'm going to do, community college or apply to an Ivy League college or whatever, every one of them, their rite of passage goes through McDonald's. Yeah, man. Practically everybody can tell you that work at McDonald's at some point. Yeah, practically everybody. Sean Handy the same work at McDonald's. Everybody work. They revolutionized the communication sector, the technology sector in this country. Yes, Ashley, I'm on Facebook Live. And that revolutionaries of the communication sector and the BPO, that is his legacy. That is his record. He has a record. And no matter what PJ did with the roads and the infrastructure and all of that, and Michael Manley awakened it in us, and Philip Paul will actualize it. That's a record for a leader to offer something to us. One of the things that people keep saying, and Philip Paul himself did some lives and tried to bring it forward, is that how many things and scandals his name have been associated with. My personal view of that is a rite of passage for all politicians. There must be something. Any politician that is as clean as a whistle is not worthy of my vote. I need to know him went through some things, or she went through some things, and she survived some things, and him survived some things, and him come through that, and him explain himself, and where it was right or where it was wrong, him redeem himself, whatever it is. I need to know that. So there's his record. Philip Paulwell was instrumental in bringing Lisa Hanna into the People's National Party. So we're moving on to Lisa Hanna. So we're talking about wannabe leaders. And I told you the story already. How Lisa Hanna came into the PNP. How we found out. Because we were having meet at a place. We were having a regional officers meeting at a private place where Paul took us to sometime on a Saturday. Because the food is good and room is nice and we can stay there the whole day and try to work out some regional policies. And Lisa Hanna came in and Ray blah blah and the rest is history. But he was instrumental in bringing Lisa Hanna into the party. One of the things that we were sold on about Lisa Hanna coming into the party was that she will bring more women into the party. And she will bring the youth into the party. We were sold on that. At the NECs, at the RECs, at the RMCs. We were sold on that. And in her first election as a member of parliament in Southeast St. Anne, she brought the youth vote. I think it went up about 7% according to the electoral office. Electoral office figures are never reliable. It might have gone up maybe between 5 and 7. Them saying between 7 and 10. I think it might have been more 5 or 7. And she brought in the youth vote. The women in the party were more excited about the party. To see Portia as leader and Lisa and the beauty just come join the party. It was very exciting times for the PNP. Very exciting times. And I, for one, Karen Cecilia Cross, not making any kind of, I don't know, of any specific program or anything. I'm sure Lisa probably did something in Parliament, but I don't know of any. I didn't go look for any. Probably Michelle should have go look for something and tell me. I don't know. Maybe I didn't ask her to. I didn't. But I don't know. But I know this. Here's what I know for a fact. I know that her time, her stint in the party, her first 3 years, was not as smooth as everybody thought it was. Because it's like the onslaught started the minute she walked away from the Burks. And it's like from then on, she never got a chance to settle down. Never got a chance to settle down. But look at it this way. Every particular person who wants to be leader would have to have something to offer. And everybody who wants to lead something come with something. I told you what Paul Well is already. He actualized the vision that Norman Manley saw. He actualized the social awakening that Michael Manley did. And that's his. Everybody grudge you because we have the beauty queen. Everybody grudge you because we have Miss World. There was a grudge fest going on. The whole world wanted a piece of the PNP now because we have the beauty queen. We have Miss World, so the whole world wants a piece of her. And then when the world find out that she's articulate and sensible and can communicate effectively, that even make it worse. The whole world, the whole country, they want a piece of Portia Fractal and want a piece of Lisa Fractal. Because everybody come with something. Not counting out Lisa Anna because the country still not counting her out. Until the country count her out. Until them start telling me when my guy road say, but Lisa Anna now go back again. Until me start hear that enough voice. I have to stay where the country is. Me can't run left the country. Me can't make up something that will go where the country I say. So when we rolling up to Richard up a Gale, and the woman them I say, she not going away and she's staying, and them want her to stay, and the PNP are going to dead if she got, what me for do? Tell her no otherwise? Sorry, me can't tell her no otherwise. When Wizzy a walk round with him folder in 2020, when the delegates them decide to sell out Norman Man the party to Mark, nobody called him in and tell him to cut it out. Because the whole round did line up. The people who were supporting Lisa, Philip Powell and Dennis Gordon and all of who was lined up and supporting Lisa, supported her out of a reasonable assumption that she would be more ready than Mark. And then it was a reasonable assumption. No, it wasn't a reasonable assumption. No, when you look back at Mark's 2 years as leader of the PNP, you see now that it wasn't just a reasonable assumption. It should not have been. It would have been more like, what do I do? What the backside do I do? You're not idiot. But then again, people did tell me, say we are idiot. After we selling a vote to Mark Golding and elect him leader. The whole Jamaica tell we say we are idiot. And when him got 2 or 6 times and people get to see him, them tell me we are idiot. What's the matter? We don't know. We do not allow them. We don't allow that wannabe ruffian Wizzy who Lydia and them take PNP money and give him, make people believe I him have money and spend down there. And thief in him and the rest of them for undermine the woman and bunting them, and Angela Brownberg them go down there. After the woman change her accounts and them go down, they can put back the thief them because them trying to undermine her and push her out a little more. And they deserve what I have. But me now go allow no for mash up Norman Manley party. I promise you that. On my mother's life, me I promise you that. Me not allow no for mash up Norman Manley party. Me not stay silent. But someone can stay silent. But as long as I can talk, I will talk. As long as I have breath, I will talk. Let's move on to more wannabe leaders. And in my own way, in my heart, I very much would like to just dismiss Michael Phillips off the bat. I don't want to dismiss him out of it. But I'm not going to dismiss him out of it. I'm not going to dismiss him out of it because Miss Peter Phillips' son. And the only way that him can convince anybody in the resistance, and we can go on with it, we don't mind when say a few away, you know. Yes, a few away. And if few away do so much damage, and if few away hold no accountable, then we can live with the few. Peter Phillips would have to come out and say, it's my son. And him never really sell me out. And me tell him for go and go, look after him political career. I don't even know if Peter Phillips can say that to nobody if nobody believe him. Because the boy is a traitor. The boy betrayed him father. Now, if you betray your father and you couldn't stand up for your father, how are you going to stand up for me? You want to lead me? You're not going to stand up for me? Oh, I never mentioned Julian Robinson in the list. Him in the list too. You can't stand for me and you never stand for your daddy. You watch the man them and do so much damage to your daddy and you did not stand up for your father. A son is supposed to stand up for his father. I have seen sons, well, a movie watch. Sons kill people, take a shot for him father. I don't want a man lead me where don't have nothing to show. Except that him joined the traitor them and never stood up for his father. That don't go over well with nobody. People don't like cowards and traitors. We don't all get it. People do not, even traitors and cowards on road, don't like cowards and traitors. Especially if you don't want to lead something. A man who's a coward and a traitor don't like a coward and a traitor for lead him. Some you know how you're going to lead anybody. And I'm just being frank. I'm not beating up anybody. I'm just being frank and put it out there. Because next, God spare my sinful life. And since it's only good die young and I'm not a good nor young, I believe I'll be around. I'm going to go on the road again. To go find out how the people feel about all of you. So I'm dismissing you. But still mentioning you. Raymond Price. Not telling already, you know. Raymond Price is one of them youth when we were young in a PNP YO. And everywhere Michael Manley go, and Marjorie Taylor, they mobilize we and tell we say, we are going this and we are going that. Raymond Price come in from St. Elizabeth with him knapsack on him back. We don't know when I knapsack. He just come in with a knapsack. And we up and down all over Jamaica. If we go back to St. Elizabeth ends, him get dropped home. But if we don't go back to St. Elizabeth, we always come back to town. In those days, we all, except when we go to Portia sometime, and Portia went to one room somewhere and the whole amongst it have somewhere, or nobody no rent the room, we just find a bar and drink the whole night. Except for those occasions, when Raymond Price come to Kingston, Raymond Price up and down with us, and at the end of the night, him sleep a party at quarters. You see with him knapsack and him go on the back and him sit down with them guys and him sit down and chat and smoke and drink. I'm sure he wasn't smoking or drinking, but he smoke and drink. And him up and down with PNP during them time there. Can't forget it. Raymond Price, like Basil Waite, was given many opportunities in the PNP. Basil Waite came into the PNP the same way Damien Crawford did, as chairman of the PNP YO, as president of the PNP YO, not as a group chairman, not as somebody who did some work, as came in, walked in, El Presidente of the PNP YO. And Raymond, articulate and smart and bright. Portia liked Raymond around her, and Portia built him up and chief of staff and so on and so forth. Then the Northeast St. Elizabeth seat became available, and Portia gave it to him. And no matter how much Raymond twist it and turn it and mash it up and make it turn soup, he have to take full responsibility for how it turned out. full responsibility. You were given it. It was handed to you to go serve the people of Northeast St. Elizabeth. And we know what you faced. Everybody faced some of those things. And you couldn't stick it out. That don't say I shouldn't get a next chance. Because the people of Northeast St. Elizabeth, quite a lot of them, still calling for Raymond Price. That was a surprising thing of our visit in Northeast St. Elizabeth. It was shocking for me that so many people were still saying, yeah man, I'm to send back Mr. Price, man. I'm surprised I'm to send back Mr. Price. But, let me not get here. Raymond Price, like Philip Paulwell, has a record. In his short time as a member of parliament, it's not you, Mark Golding, it's Raymond Price introduced the ganja legislation. And I'm going to tell you something that Raymond Price don't tell you no about the ganja legislation and how him reached there. He went down to Arbitrary Court more than 2 times. If I'm more than 2 times, Raymond Price, have to correct me. Since we see about 2 or 3 times. Come down Arbitrary Court. Karen Cross, where are you? I'm going to the Arbitrary. And sit down in a courthouse and watch the proceedings about ganja. 3-4 hours of the court time took up with dispensing of ganja cases. 3-4 hours. And he spent many a time down there looking at the process, talking to policemen, talking to lawyers. I don't think no judge would want to talk to him, but he talk. The process that led to this ganja legislation wasn't something that came out of a hat. He saw it as an opportunity where him could just take something and work it and make it happen for the Jamaican people. And he did. And you, Mark Golding, never have nothing to do with it except that you lend your legal advice. Remember? Lawyering and investment banking, that's your gift. You know no more gift. Lawyering and investment banking are your gift. You don't have no more gift, Mark. So there's that with Raymond and his record. But there's not a record, you know. And if they do, Resistance Secretary, could you start research of the people in record? Want to see them record? Because a record is not what you said in Parliament, or which thing you signed off on, or what thing you was pulling. Record is something that you got done. That's the record. And you can't want to be leader of the People's National Party and you have no record of anything at all. But you're willing, and you're not willing either to wait, you're not willing either to watch some other people more deserving of you to move forward. Everybody wants it now. And I'm here to tell you now. Not works so. Akeem Jeffries was trained by Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer. They trained him and prepared him to take on this role that he now has. And friends of mine who lives in his district says he's a very unassuming person. He will turn up at a black party and you don't even know him there, them just come, all a drink and start walking and talk to people. I don't want to be leader with an eye for looting self and up there so the people I'm down here, so. Now here's a young youth, Basil Waite. And why I bring in Basil Waite in it? Because I don't want to be weird. When Raymond Price was being pushed and groomed, so was Basil Waite. I have never seen a young person in the People's National Party given so much opportunity like Basil Waite. Every time him fall down, there was somebody there to pick him up and brush him off and put on Gentian Violet on him knee and purple lotion on him and when him chip up and give him water for drink and blow upon it and kiss him hand and hug him up and tell him never mind, it soon stop. I have not seen another person in the People's National Party that get that kind of treatment like Basil Waite did. And what did he do? He effed it up royally. Because this whole idea by a group of of people, well, a group of people, by society and standards, where people start harping, young people this and young people that, and young people that, and the young people them stupid and fool and no sense. And them can't lead nothing. And young people this and young people that. They were given opportunities time and time again. And they still want more opportunities. I'm not saying that they shouldn't get it. Because they are talented people. And they should. But they need to understand that there's an hierarchy. There's an order in which things are done. And somebody have to tell them that everybody need to quit. Simple. So now, there is the other female in the race, Angela Brownberg, who have long believed that she should be leader of the PNP. Not for any particular reason except that she was there with Portia, and she was mayor, and she was senator, and she was councillor, and she deserved it. Not a reason except that. And she wants to be leader of the PNP. Except that, as councillor and mayor, no, not as councillor, but as mayor, Angela Brownberg did nothing for the city. Zero. Nothing for the city. Everything that she was supposed to do, because there was a group of people who pushing for her to do certain things that would benefit the city. All of that went through the window because everybody there was on a personal agenda to personally lift themselves, as all councillors are, still are. Most councillors are there as councillors because them can't get no other gig, so them stay as councillors. And if them lose that gig, them lose them life. Nothing else. Them have nothing else to go to. It's the only act them have, being councillor. And she never used the opportunity to lift the city. She has absolutely no legacy, no record of lifting the city, except the Ancat, which is not a bad thing, but became a bad thing because of her old personality and the way she do things. No record, no legacy, did nothing to lift the city. Zero, nilch to lift the city, but wants to be leader. But Angela Brownberg also has a personality flaw. Nobody likes Angela Brownberg. And when I'm being very mild when I said nobody. I mean nobody likes Angela Brownberg. Nobody wants Angela Brownberg to be leader of the PNP. She can't talk. She's not honest. And the thing about honesty is that honesty is something that makes you comfortable with yourself. And if you're not comfortable with yourself, it's easier to tell that you're not honest. And I'm not meaning that you're thief or nothing. Honesty in your whole life. You know? If you're comfortable with yourself, and you're a woman, she come through a garbage at the girl this man, and me and her have it out. And she tell me that's why nobody don't like me. She said that's why nobody don't like you. I said, good. That's exactly where I want to be. Where nobody likes me. And the reason why I'm comfortable with that is because I am right and they are wrong. So I'm good with that. Angela don't have that thing to be leader of party, but she wants to be leader. And I don't know if even the people of Southwest St. Andrew would be out of them cotton picking mind and vote for Angela for leader. But then again, they vote for Mark Golding. So every time you look at one of these wannabe leaders, you have to go right back and look how them vote for Mark Golding. I throw Ian Ayers in the mix, not knowing for sure if Ian Ayers have any ambitions to be leader. I'm telling Ian Ayers, I'm a brethren. I hide that from nobody. I never thought of him as a possible leader. But the reason why I throw him into the midst is because it got me thinking, why is Angela Brownberg so invested in damaging and getting rid of Ian Ayers? There must be a reason. I can't put my finger on it. Usually I'm good at this. She set up Joan Garden Webley for go down and west. But basically live down her mother lived down there. Desmond Mackenzie, a PR. Because she, Angela Brownbrook and Desmond McKenzie, deep in bed. Deep. And John Gordon Webley's task was to make Ian Hayes' life miserable while him trying to juggle the 2 seats in Hanover and trying to get the seat in West. And I keep asking myself, why is it so important for Angela Brownbrook to get rid of Ian Hayes? Because it has something also to do with the fact with the Zuleka Jess vice presidency thing and all of that. But why? Why is she so investing so deeply and so widely in getting rid of Ian Hayes? It must be something. And then I came up with this genius idea. I wonder if Ian wants to be leader too. I mean, I ask him yet. But I say to myself, because if Angela invests so much time and effort to damage him, then maybe he want something that she want. Because that's usually Angela's motivation. She want to get rid of it because you want the same thing what she want. That was her motive. That's her motivation. She and her husband against Paulwell. Them lose that fight already. Them lose that fight already. Big. Them can't touch Paulwell again. So that's how Ian Hayes end up in the mix. Julian Robinson. Now, Julian Robinson is one of those guys that try not to get himself in any trouble. Stay clear of all the controversy, which is boring in politics. Stay clear of any kind of controversy, which don't augurs well for any man who wants to lead anything. Controversy must have a little bit of that. It's politics. You know, but no one a boring leader. But Julian Robinson has played his cards close to his chest, hugging up Mark. Maybe he even supported Mark against Lisa in 2020. Many people think that. And maybe him and Mark have a deal. Some people think that too. I'm going to repeat what people tell me I wrote. Julian and Mark make deal, man. And so them man they move. And Mark make deal, man. Stay with Mark and Bunting and then them pass it on to him. After all of them party, them bite. Them can pass it on to anybody them want. Of course. Julian Robinson is not an interesting person. All the other people that we call interesting people. For one reason or the other. But Julian Robinson, uninteresting person. Very uninteresting. Right? And when time come out, we go deep into each individual. We're going to go into them individually deep when time come next year. After we finish the road thing. I have a couple of more places to go. I need to hear from some more people. I mean, not carrying a crew with me. It's me alone I go. When me alone go, people talk more freely. And Princess doing them years, I call them risers. So Julian Robinson playing it cool with Mark. But Julian Robinson don't understand that people don't like cowards. Nobody no want a coward lead them. Nobody no want a man with afraid to lead them neither. And him sit down here, not rocking any boat. They have not shake the boat a little. They have not step out of the boat and make the boat. Nothing, not rock the boat. Because him think that, him is one of those guys who think that if him play it safe, it's going to drop in your lap. I have news for you, Julia Robinson. Not no gossip, not politics. Not a soul can play it safe and wait for them. Wait for something to drop them lap. Or miss out something about Angela. She thief the chairmanship race the other day. Thief it. Blatantly thief it. She did not win that chairmanship race the other day. She thief it. Skeffrey and that future international scammer Dexroy Martin. Thief it give her. She could not have won. There was no way she could have won. No way. The votes that Raymond got, those were the legitimate votes. Everything else at best should have got about 60 votes. But Dexroy Martin and Skeffrey and Patrick Roberts, you know what role him play. Because my counsel, but man thin ice with me. Very thin ice with me. Them thief it gear. She thief the chairmanship race. How can we trust you to be a leader? And you know, and you don't know how to, I mean, leaders can thief for election, yes? But blatantly, outrightly thief, or could even hide on a thief, or just blatantly thief it, so never even count the amount of people them that come, who just issue out ballot. We don't want who can't lead me. Because we're a good thief. You have to thief the thing, plan the thing good. Plan the thing good, man. Count how much people come. Make sure you have the registration to a pot. Make sure so whatever you win by covers the registration. You know a petty criminal who want to go to prison just for being petty criminals. Go back to Julian. Nobody wants anybody to lead them. Who afraid? Who sit down and wait for something to happen so that you can get it. If something happen, somebody will say, boy, the people up in arms against Lisa. Boy, the people them I say Paul will corrupt. Boy, them not ready, Raymond, not ready. Boy, Damien not ready. So it all drop to me. No, boss. No. Me tell you already, me tell you again. Mark Golden is the last of that group of people in the PNP who's going to come take liberty with the PNP and have the PNP delegates and sell out them votes to him. It now gonna happen again. I promise you no. So you can stay there wait till Mark done and give it to you. My Gina done. So there is it. Who else is on that list? The other day, we're coming to Damian Crawford now. The other day, Damian Crawford was on Andre Stevens live. And he was on the live talking all kinds of things. And the thing about these things, and I'm talking to you PNP people in particular, who watch those lives and follow Damian and follow everything him say. We're not really following the Ray. We're not really following what him say. We're not following the Ray. We're not going to the live for the Ray. Because if you were following what he was saying, you would have asked some questions about some things that he said. In proposals about crime plan and in criminal plan. Ask him about that. Ask him about him plan for the Zozo thing when I'm coming. Because if you look deep into it, if you examine it, what he said to Andrew about all of that, he basically saying the same thing that Mark and Andrew all is saying. All him do is add word salad to it and make it sound like something new. But here's the thing with Damian now. Damian have always felt that he's entitled to something. And it's always about him. Me, I. And yes, it is necessary to recap some things. And this is not about beating up anybody. Damian was in East Portland. And I'm going to talk this now. First time publicly. No, maybe not. No. Remember, don't want to tell a lie. If me tell a lie, correct me, please. I said to Damian down in East Portland, before East Portland thing, you should not accept the candidacy in East Portland. You should not. You should tell Peter Phillips that Andrea Moore, and I'm not promoting Andrea Moore, I'm not with Andrea Moore, and Andrea Moore a traitor. But at the time, I said to him, Andrea Moore is a person down there working the seat. She's been working for like 6 years. And if you want to start your political career in a good way, this is a good way to start it. Say to your leader, let the woman run, and she down there work the seat. And she for go run it. Me not go run it. And I don't know how it might have ended up at Andrea Moore being the candidate. But here's what I know. I know that it would not have become a national election if it was Andrea Moore. It became a national election because it was Damian Crawford. It wasn't a local by-election. It was a national election against him personally and against the PNP in addition. So it became something big, but it shouldn't have. And I don't know if she would have won, but it would not have been a big thing. It would be 2 women down there run. Mrs. Vaz and Andrea Moore, who've been running the seat, working the seat for 6 years. And everybody that descend down there, and everybody else. And I said to him, tell him you support Andrea Moore. And you're going to help her and big her up and carry her through. And get the young people out and make sure run the seat. And him about it. Dr. Phillips asked him, and if him leader asks him don't know how him to say no to him leader. You're not saying no to your leader. In the interest of the party and in your own political interest, you should tell the leader that the right thing to do. They're talking about your politics. They're talking about your future. We're talking about what is right. Because as a young person, you're going to start in politics. Start with what is right. Tell him that you don't believe it is right. And Dr. Phillips know me feel about that. I wrote many letters on it. The woman down there worked the seat for 6 years. And because I don't want hype and excitement instead of a steady win, then brought him in. And he had the opportunity to be the bigger guy. He had the opportunity to say, yeah, hear me? Me a Rasta. I believe in a right and wrong. The woman I work it for 6 years, me a support her, me a Debbie behind her, me all over support her. 2 things would have been eliminated from that. 2 things would have eliminated from that by-election. And we don't know how it would have ended, because I can't see in the future, I can't see in the past. But the first thing would be, it would not have been a national election. That's the first thing. And the second thing would have been that him set the tone for the kind of person that he is and for the kind of leader that he wishes to be. The decency and the honesty about it all. But he was caught up in himself because he always have this group of people around him telling him that him is Jesus Christ reincarnated and everything is entitled to him and bequeathed to him and he should get it. And him feeling that way, I've acted that way for all his political life. No, I don't care which one I don't like it, but this is God's truth. I'm never saying this is God's truth. He has acted it because he thinks it and people tell him it. It's like my grandson, who people tell him that he is here to the throne, that is my throne, a throne which I don't even have. So because people tell him that, he act it and live it, like he be some kind of king boy, yeah? So that is what they did with Damian. And that's how Damian acted. Damian went to East Rural St. Andrew just a few weeks before the election. Portia sent him there. And on Portia's coattail, he won the seat. He won the seat. Now take it from him. And he was out there. And boy, when we were out there campaigning in 2016, I went some places. We talk about boardhouse and zinc fence. And where you look, big pretty road with Damian built. Big pretty road, not Taylor land where so a zinc fence and boardhouse. But big broad pretty road. Pretty road. Pretty road in a hill, pretty road in a valley. He built a whole heap of roads. He also built a place with computer for people that nobody uses. Because he don't believe in people's life. He believes in something in terms of how you're supposed to act as a member of parliament is uplift them. He have one belief, and I'm going to tell you about that shortly. But he don't believe in people's life. A man tell you, say, one woman down the road dead and them have the night tonight. Him and him not go. I think him should go. So maybe Damian's gift is not MP, but something else, because he does have gifts that have worth and have a contribution to make. But for some strange reason, he believe that him should be the leader. And they have a seat. He should be the leader. You're not going to funeral. You know nobody. On a funeral. Him and Andre live talking about, and he has been talking about the manifesto for a while now. And I've been doing some inquiries and Basically, him led the manifesto committee. He led it. Imani Duncan was on it. Imani Duncan was on it. Don't remember who else was on it. But he led it. And never one time has he mentioned that the manifesto committee was him leading it with a group of people and mention one or two of them. Leaders do that. Leaders do that. You share responsibility, you share power, and you share the praise. That's how leaders do. And my manifesto, and me write that, the man them take my idea, the man them do this, the man them that, but you never give credit to anybody else. The manifesto committee went around the country, a few selected places, and had consultations with groups. I don't know I'm telling what I don't know first. I don't know if they had consultations with farming groups. I don't know if they had consultation with teachers. I don't know if they had consultations with the health sector. I don't know if they had consultation with any other sectors. My understanding is that they went around the country and had some consultation with some groups. Don't know what that group is. Don't know who make up that groups. But that is what I know. Share it, man. You have never said once, I was the head of the manifesto committee. Imani Duncan Price was on it with me. John Tom was on it with me. Mary Jane was on it with me. And I remember once, he always claimed it to be his. And I know for a fact that PNP have had manifesto committee before. Peter Phillips led one of the biggest manifesto committee as a young PNP. Well, young but PNP. Never ever take credit all for yourself. It's your thing. Yeah? You don't get a credit. On Andre's program, he keeps saying that. The biggest challenge that Damian Crawford has, and let me pause here and address, because ever since I've made that post on Facebook, I get a lot of calls, a lot of text messages. People concerned about this and that. One person said to me, say, boy, it don't make sense we tear down our own. And people on Facebook saying that consistently. Lots of people come and oppose that Sonny put up or I put up or Flowers put up or Michelle put up. And somebody come and post and say, boy, at times that we come together, we are bashed down, we own. I want to make something absolutely clear to all of you who think that and say that. You see, we here in the resistance, Uno and them are not free we own. None of them is free we own. So nobody can tell us we are mashed down, we own. Mark is not my own. Peter Murcock Bunting is not my own, is not our own. Dayton Campbell is not our own. Neither is Angela Burke. They are on their sides with themselves. They don't care about us. They are our own, so we don't mash down nobody own. But the reason why Mark Golden is leader of the PNP is because the PNP delegates never had enough information about him. And try as we might have tried to tell them everything we could, the truth of the matter is we knew very little as well. So we were there basically just winging it. Tell them what we know, tell them what we think, picking up things here and there, putting it out there for people to understand that this man not qualified to lead the PNP, and the PNP delegates did not have enough information, neither did we. And they elected him. So therefore, the important thing going forward to do is to make sure the PNP delegates have enough information of everybody who wanna be leader. Everybody who wanna be leader, the PNP delegates have a right to know everything about you. Don't you believe that? They need to know what you think, how you behave. So Damien was on Andre's program chatting all kind of crap that none of you was listening to. None of you that was watching that program would have got it for the hype. So then I listen to him. And with him, education, formal education, is the wherewithal where Damien is concerned. Nothing can happen unless you have some CXC and go to university. In his mind, in his head. Him out there tell the young people that them can't reach now unless them get 5 CXC and get some CXC and go to university and go to one college. And I'm here to tell him tonight that what he's doing, when he do that, he's dumbing down the young people them. Him depriving them of their creative juices. I need him. I have a Chevy. I carry a Chevy. The parts them not easy to get. I'm lucky sometimes Sir Paul might have them. So I needed a control bushing and an engine mount. And my mechanic said, there's a place that can repair it or fix it or build it. I remember. So Renard sent me to the place. And I went there. And there was this young fellow sitting there in the garage when I walked in, and he had a book in his hand. Another book in his hand. Young fellow, very unassuming, nothing stand out with him. An ordinary little fellow. Nothing stand out except the book in his hand. And I parked the car, and I came out of the car, and him get up. And I said, what's up, youth? And I said, you know, I'm asked me if I want the car fixed. My wife, you know, him say, you want your control bushing makeover? I said, yes, but are you in charge? Him said, no, man. See, man, they were in charge. And in time for open the, me give me key. I'm interested that way. I do a damn work. I'm going to the gentleman, and the man said, yeah, man, I'm going to look after him. That's all the man said to me. Yeah, man, I'm going to look after him, man. Just go back out it. And the man took out the book. And him have a pencil. Not a pen, you know. Pencil. And him started asking me some questions. Him in the car. And he might look and he might deep. And he might write. And you know how him write? So, like them don't speak near school. Them face deep down in the book. That's how him write. And him there write. And me take a seat. There's a little bar thing there. I'm going to take a seat and go over there and get a beer. Until him done. And when him done right, I realized it wasn't writing was writing. It's drawing was drawing. Because a Chevy. Them don't see a Chevy every day. Chevy is a rare thing. A drawing with a draw. Drawing the engine and all the rest of things them got that surround the control bushing and whatever it is that he was looking for. And then him stand up and say, and the drawing and the little writing that he was doing, a crab tour. So a crab tour. Then him said to me, I can build it back, you know. I can build it back, man. I say, yeah? I say, all right then. I'm going to leave you to it. You go and build it back, and me gone. I'm going to walk out the road and hail a taxi and go me and talk with the man and let me again. And leave everything. Couple days after him call me. Everything ready, good and God and well. They look at you build the control bush in Damian Crawford. He built it. Him writing a crab tour. Him couldn't survive in high school. A youth like that could never survive in high school. CXC would have damaged him if anybody did put him in front of class and so do some CXC. He wouldn't be able to build a control bushing. An engine mount. University couldn't teach him that. That is his natural creative gift that God gave him. And not everybody born for education, my youth. Stop ribbit it in the youth them head. But them need to get an education. It's depressing them. It is depressing to them. It is. Because when a youth sit down, I was telling Michelle about a friend of mine who told me about the jerk chicken man. It's just every time she go buy jerk chicken from him, it's like the chicken nice and everything and him good and him a serve and everything and him nice and everything and him good. But when she engage him in a conversation, him only argument about doing jerk chicken is that, why, you know, it's a living, you know, like a money and thing. It's like she made the conclusion, she came to the conclusion that he might do the chicken, but it's not really eat him one though. He might have 7 CXC. He might jerk chicken. It tastes damn good. She say, I don't eat chicken, so I don't know. But she say, it tastes damn good. I raise a whole heap of picnic. 18 of them to be precise. And there was this little dance one night. My nephew Alric. His father died, my brother. So the boy go to school every day. Chris like biscuit. Uniform, crisp him. Shoes, crisp him. Bag, crisp him. Collect me $500 every day. And go along a permacal school. And believe you me, if you can't graduate from permacal, I mean no disrespect to permacal. If you can't graduate from permacal, you're not going to school. Me keep asking the boy if him end the term report and can't get the report. Finally, I go along a permacal. The teacher then bust out big laugh. Oh, Miss Grant, here is Alric, mother. I said, oh, auntie. Oh, Alric, auntie. And she pull out the book. And she said, from the term began, it's twice in mark registered. I'm registered present in the class. Twice. Boy, down at the bottom of the field that is closer to Marvel. Him and him crew hang out every day. Chris like a crisp biscuit. I take my $500 and now go to school. Long story short, my niece them are mad over some slippers. Couple of years after, I see them are mad over some slippers in the yard one day. And they want them back. So the Alric met them. Alric met them. CXC wasn't for Alric. Alric make slippers, move up to him mother yard, up a standpipe, build him one room and up there and live him life wonderfully and make slippers. Man make the Bridget slippers, man make something similar. Got prison for that. Man, I make slippers. It's not every person gift is to get an education and get CXC. Some people come with different gifts. And we don't want to kill them gift by telling them that they must go get some CXC. And education is the wherewithal and the end it all for it. Oscar Wilde said education is a noble thing, but it would do us good from time to time to remember that that which is worth knowing cannot be taught. And if anything, some young people in this country have proven to us, young people who who in a mechanic shop have build things. Young people, Michelle was telling me about some young person that used straw making some other thing. There was something on Facebook there, a young lady using tire, making table and chair. That's her creative talent. Don't ribbit it in our head about no CXC and no university. Not everybody born for that. Can you imagine? Try and imagine. When I discovered that my skill is painting and interior decoration and flowers and garden, my skill. I mean, there's no painter in Jamaica better than me. None. I'm going to mix my own colors them. That's a gift that God gave me. You don't tell the youth them that they need to have an education. While some of them not meant for that. Some of them meant to go make the best jerk chicken. Some of them meant to go build control bushing and engine mount. Some of them meant to go make slippers. I can't find a shoemaker anywhere in Kingston. There used to be one in half a tree. Shoemakers are rare. We need shoemakers. We need tailors. We need barbers. They don't need CXC for that. They need them gift, them hands, them head, them heart, decency, honesty. They need good families to make them know that, yo, if the book thing now go work out for you, just tell them where you're at. My grandson said he want to be a photographer. My grandson. Who at some point, going to Calabar now, at some point he hope that the boy will graduate with something big and rare, blah, blah. Everybody hope that. But the day he told me that he want to go to Edna Man, go to photography, or maybe even go to Europe, go to photography. And that me depend. That is where me depend. Now ram no CXC down in my head. Want to go all the photographers in the world. On Thursday night, Friday night, Prince William hosted the Heartshot Prize in Boston. It's an environmental thing that charity that he has. Picked it up from John F. Kennedy Moonshot, and he made it to the Heartshot about saving the earth. Nominated some 9 people across the globe, people that doing their little part in their part of the world to save the earth. And here is this group, and I can't remember where them from. I still remember where them from, and I will put it on Facebook when I do. But it's a group of them, the young man, down in Asia, somewhere in Asia. They discovered how to take carbon monoxide and turn it into rocks. Him not going to university. Him just play with chemicals and play with things and watch the environment, and him uncle teach him things and stumble upon him talent. And your argument, your wherewithal, do it all to the young people that them need to get some CXC and some high school. It's dumbing them down. It's killing them. It's not making no sense. And that seems to be Damien's only argument. And they're good. Leaders need to share power, share thoughts, share praise, and come up with good ideas and be deliberative and kind and stop being so me, and I. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. Find a seat or some other work, do some work. Stop walking around and behave like you think that something is owed to you, and you have the people them were telling you that something is owed to you, and we all must line up and support that which you think that is owed to you. But nothing is owed to you, young fellow. Nothing is owed to you. And it's not your time to be leader of the PNP. There's a hierarchy. And the worst thing about all of this for Damien, and I'm not tearing down Damien, nobody think that. The worst thing about all of this is that in all the years that all of this has been going on, you have not learned anything. You have not changed anything. It's still the same old. Youth them want education, and youth them want education, and this and that and that. I didn't listen to you on Andre program. We send to a research team go listen, and them for go listen and tell me. And is them point out to me that the proposal you were making, that Damien was making about the crime and criminality thing, is basically the same thing that Mark and Andrew One is proposing, except with a little bit of word salad to it. You add 1 or 2 words and you make the whole thing your own. And your educated posture, Damien's educated posture, is what makes him come across as a know-it-all. And so him sit down and talk things that nobody listening to, and so them can't hold him accountable to it. That does not help Damien. Doesn't help you if you're going to say things that people are not listening to and correct you and find out from you. That will help you. And you're going to be going around in circles and spinning and talking about it. Plus, me can tell you personally, very personal, this is a personal thing, this doesn't represent the resistance. This is my personal thing I'm about to tell you now. The fact that you could not make a choice in 2020, you so don't want Lisa to be leader, but you can't bring yourself to support Mark until you and him make some kind of deal. That alone, to me, you wouldn't get my vote. Because I don't like people that don't take a side. Me teach my people and I'm a big grown people now, you have to pick a side. Because there's only 2 sides, the right side and the wrong side. You have to pick a side. Because if, listen to me, man, America had to pick a side in World War II. They tried to stay out of it. But Churchill keep telling them, and Churchill is my hero, he keep telling them, you can't stay and talk about you not getting involved. Because if you then don't get involved, the world can go to crap. And it would have had they not got involved. You can't say you're not getting involved. You can't say you're not pick a side. Pick a damn side. Pick a side, man. Everybody must pick a side. Everybody can't talk about you're not getting involved. I hate people like that. I don't like people that does that. They're not trustworthy. It's best you say, boy, I like that person. Maybe it's a good idea if I make the 2 of them work it out right now. But don't just go put on one bib and talk about your work as secretariat and don't pick a side. Pick a damn side. And in fact, you didn't pick a side, or you pick a side inadvertently and quietly, I don't know. That pisses me off really, really big. I can't get over it. Just like, I just can't get over some things. Some things we can't get over. We can't get over the treachery of the party. We can't get over how some people just sit down in our WhatsApp group and decide that they're going to sabotage the PNP to lose the election. And then we must hug them up, and some people talk about say, we don't have to tear down our own and we must come together. How do you come to that conclusion? How do I come together with you? I can't trust you. I want to be able to trust you. And I don't. One other woman in on this list of people who want to be leaders or could be leaders. Comrade Donna Scott Motley. Wonderful woman. I don't have a thing to say about Donna Scott Motley, because I really don't know anything, quite frankly. Maybe next year when I find out some things I'll tell you. But I know she's a decent human being. I know. I know that if she was the leader of our Senate and not that asswipe, we'd be in a better shape in the Senate. So I like that she have those ambitions as well. The People's National Party is a vibrant political organization, and it needs serious and vibrant people to step up to the plate. No joker. No joker wannabe who think that because of some mystical reason or something that him should be leader or she should be leader. This is a serious matter. We already make that joker thing with Mark. We can't make that joker thing again. And we can't sit down there. Sit down there. Hug up Mark and him crew. We want to keep hugging them up. PNP. Fractured. Andrew Holness. Golden opportunity. And we can't take it. We can't take it because we don't have the leadership to do it. We don't. So there you go. Done it. So comrades, that's a mouthful. Maybe 2 mouthful or 3 mouthful. You and I will not see each other on this forum again for the rest of 2022. So let me take this opportunity to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. All of you must stay safe, please. Don't do anything out of the way. Eat a lot, drink a lot, play a lot, laugh a lot. Remember that Jesus was born and Jesus came because of us. And we must appreciate the fact that he came because of us. We must appreciate the fact that God sent his son. He didn't have to, but he did, because he needs somebody to redeem us. And many of us still don't redeem. I like being a sinner, so I can call on God every day. I figure that if I'm a sinner, I can get to pray more often and talk to God more often. So, bless you all. Thank you for staying with us throughout this political year. It was a rocky one, but we survived and we're still here. God bless you all. God keep you safe. God bless the People's National Party. Please stay safe and keep the children safe. Thank you for joining me. God bless you. Good night.